Hey guys, so I don't normally upload stuff on the weekends, as you know, but this is an exception because I did need to get something out there about the new Pokémon Sun and Moon reveal trailer that came out just a couple days ago, June 2nd, and we got a bunch of revealed stuff. We're gonna go through the trailer here and kind of break it apart bit by bit. I'm gonna address each individual thing that was revealed and kind of give a little bit of my thoughts on it. I'm not gonna go too super duper in depth because I don't want this video to be too long, but hey, if you guys want more, analysis, you can just, request it, leave a comment, and I'll take a certain section of the trailer and maybe try to break it down a little bit more. But for now, here's a general overview. We're gonna go over the bits of the trailer. So the first thing we have revealed, which is not too surprising, but it's nice to have confirmation, that the legendaries in Sun and Moon are indeed called Solgaleo and Lunala. As you remember, there was the trademark for those names. Around the same time, there was a trademark for the Japanese names of the starters. So it seems like that is in fact true, so Solgaleo and Lunala, not super surprising, but what is interesting is we did get their typings confirmed. Solgaleo is going to be Psychic and Steel type, which if you combine that with its ability, Full Metal Body, which effectively has the same effect as Clear Body, it's looking a lot like Solgaleo is like Metagross there, with the same typing and basically the same ability with a different name. But it's definitely interesting. I would not have assumed that Solgaleo would be Psychic Steel type. I think a lot of people were expecting him to be part Fire type, although that would be a little bit unoriginal doing a Fire type Lion since we already had one just in the previous generation. But Psychic and Steel is interesting. I suppose I could see the Steel type maybe with the Sun, but maybe not. But anyway, it'll be interesting to find out more information about Solgaleo, what other kinds of attacks that he has. We did get to see Solgaleo's signature attack, which is Sun Steel Strike, which if I'm guessing would be a Steel type attack. I don't know if we got confirmation on the typings of the attack. The typing of the attack was not revealed in the trailer, but perhaps there's some supplementary information that gives that information, but I have not seen it yet. Then we have Lunala's typing, which has been revealed to be Psychic Ghost type, which I believe is a typing only shared by Hoopa's bound form, or whatever you call it, not his unbound form. And also the ability Shadow Shield, which works like, I forget which, there's like multi-scale or Marvel scale. I think it's multi-scale, where you take less damage when you have full HP. I don't know why I keep getting multi and Marvel scale mixed up, but if I'm incorrect on which one it is, just correct me. By all means, I know I have a problem remembering that. And we get to see Lunala's signature move called Moongeist Beam, which is a pretty awesome attack, at least based on the name. And we don't have confirmation on that typing either. However, I would guess Sun Steel Strike has Steel in it. I would guess that's a Steel type attack. Moongeist Beam has Geist in it, like Poltergeist. I'm guessing it is a Ghost type attack. And it would kind of work together with the whole, it's their secondary typing. Their signature moves are their secondary typing. Their primary typings are both Psychic, so they kind of have that in common, which I think is interesting. Similar, we've had that in the past where in Black and White, the entire dragon trio, well, they were all dragons with other secondary typings that made them stand out from each other. But the other interesting thing that we see here in this reveal is that when we see the animations for these two signature attacks, they're quite elaborate compared to what we usually see for animations. And this begs the question, are we going to see more elaborate animations for different attacks, or are these ones in particular just elaborate for the trailer maybe, but I don't think that would be the case. Perhaps they're just elaborate for these two Pokemon because they're the signature moves of those Pokemon, and we're probably expecting them to be exclusive to those Pokemon so they can have special animations. I think in the first gameplay reveal trailer we did see Ember, Water Gun, and whatever the leaf one was called. I keep forgetting what that one, Leafage, that was it. We see those attacks and they look pretty standard from what we saw in Generation 6. So I'm guessing that these two attacks are just really elaborate because they're signature moves and probably exclusive to these legendaries. But anyway, we got a whole elaborate, in fact, more than half of the trailer, I think, was revealing the legendaries and all the information about them. But in the second half of the trailer, we get a whole bunch of information crammed into one. The first of which being, we get what we are to believe, I guess, is a full map of the Alola region showing 4 main islands, and they do seem to, again, be based off the Hawaiian Islands like we know, but we can see even the way they're laid out, they are somewhat resembling of the Hawaiian Islands in their overall layout. The other thing that's kind of difficult for me to ignore is how much looking at this region reminds me of Hoenn. For obvious reasons, there's a lot of water, there's some islands, and kind of based off of a similar climate, I guess. Similar real-world inspirations, not really culturally, but geographically. The idea of tropical island area and you travel around on the water, which makes me wonder how much surfing is going to be done. Obviously, I'm expecting there's going to be some surfing, but also wondering if there's going to be boat travel, because I'm assuming the island you start on, I'm assuming early in the game, the only way to travel might be by boat. Or perhaps helicopter or something, because if you look throughout the map on an more in-depth analysis, you see all of these little platforms. And the one option is they might be places for Pokemon battles to be held, which is what you see in the first gameplay reveal trailer, the little stage-looking area where you receive your first Pokemon. That looks like a stage for a Pokemon battle. So that might be what those platforms are. However, sort of the location of some of them and the coloring of some of them, again, it's just a drawing on the map, but they are put there in some detail, so we're going to assume it's for a reason. It could be little helipads. You might be able to take a little helicopter from island to island. Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, we haven't had helicopters before, but I mean, we have trucks now in these games. So maybe helicopters, or maybe they're just staged for Pokemon battles. Anyway, we do see more animations of the trainers walking around, and I think it's still hard to tell, at least for me, whether or not we're gonna continue walking on a grid-based system like we were in XY, Omega Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire, or whether we're gonna have more free movement. It does look, based on sort of the layout of the geography, that it seems like they're going to be allowing for freer movement, but it's hard to tell. Like, I personally, I'm having a hard time telling from just looking at the trailer, so that's going to be something maybe someone else can see with more certainty and say, no, that looks like free movement to me, but it kind of looks like it might still be grid-based, but that's another thing we'll just have to see. Anyway, the next thing we get is some official artwork for the player character, as well as a return to the character select screen, where you can choose the hair and skin tone and male or female of your trainer. So once again, we know that there is trainer customization, at least as far as your hair and skin tone. But I had said in the previous analysis of the previous trailer that I had heard that there was a scene where the trainer character was shown in different clothing, and I thought that I had made a mistake and I had seen the female trainer character instead and thought that was different clothing. But in fact, no, in the US trailer, there is a screenshot where the male character has a slight difference to his shirt and pants. The little red kind of cuff parts on his pants are now white, and on his shirt there's, I think, fewer stripes, and the stripe is black instead of blue. So this does imply that there is going to be full trainer customization, although that does seem pretty early on to have trainer customization because the scene it shows seems to be right in the beginning, but whatever. All I know is trainer customization appears to be back in full. That's going to be cool, and it looks like we're going to get a lot of island fashion-inspired clothing, which will certainly be interesting and a little bit of a change from what we had in X and Y, so that's be cool. The other thing we get revealed is the professor in this game is indeed Kukui. I know I was confused in that scene in the previous trailer where we saw Hala give you your starter Pokemon. He threw the Pokeballs out. I was wondering if he was going to be the professor. I know Kukui had the lab coat, but I was wondering because Hala kind of looked like he had a lab coat wrapped around his waist, and he was the one who showed you your starter Pokemon. I thought maybe he would be the professor, but apparently not. Kukui is the professor. However, this does not leave out the possibility that maybe Hala is an older professor, sort of like what we had in Black and White, where we had Professor Juniper was the professor, but later on we also met Professor Juniper's father, who was also a Professor Juniper, so maybe Hala is also a professor. But before I keep going, I'm gonna take a moment from the trailer and just go over to the little bio that was released for Professor Kukui, because I think it's kinda interesting, so let's go ahead. Professor Kukui is the Alola region's dependable Pokemon professor. He lives near your home, like most Pokemon professors it seems, and looks out for you. He's passionate about his research into Pokemon moves and has sometimes taken direct hits from Pokemon when there was something to be learned from it. Sporting a white lab coat slung casually over his bare torso, he shows off his own unique style. So yeah, I'm starting to see a trend here of more of younger and more, I'm not sure what to say about this, I guess fashionable Pokemon professors. We had Professor Sycamore, which was basically this charming young professor, and we have now Kukui here, who's not afraid to go bare-chested around here. I mean, I guess it is like Hawaii. He's got to keep his tan as even as possible, although I'm imagining he's got a mad farmer's tan going on with that lab coat. But anyway, he's quite interesting. We're getting professors that are a bit more, I don't want to say flamboyant, but they have more personality just in their appearance alone. Next we have revealed Lily, who is Kukui's assistant, and I'm gonna go ahead and read her bio as well. Lily is a mysterious girl who assists the professor. This young girl is about the same age as your character, and she's working as Professor Kukui's assistant for personal reasons. Interesting. Wonder what those are. She's not fond of making Pokemon fight in battles, but she loves reading and has devoured many books. Lily will play an important role in the story of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. So a couple things here. She does look from her appearance like she would be a little more bookwormish and not be so much into battling, so good job bringing that across in the overall design of her. Another thing, her name is Lily, and much like her name, she is quite pale, dressed all in white, with very fair hair and skin. So, which is interesting because most of the characters in Alola, except for your own player character, are pretty tan, which makes sense. You spend a lot of time outside where there's a lot of sun. You expect a lot of people to have generally tanner skin. Although looking from Lily's sun hat, I'm assuming she doesn't spend too much time outdoors. She probably shields herself from the sun. But I wonder if she's from another region as well, because your player character is implied that you just moved to the Alola region, so you're probably from somewhere else, which is why you're not tan, I guess. And then you have Lily, who, I don't know, she's just pale. Maybe she just spends all her time indoors, I don't know. But I'm curious, looking at Lily's overall appearance and something about personal reasons, there seems like there's going to be more to Lily than meets the eye. I don't know if she'll turn into sort of a rival for you. I don't know if this would be a real stretch, but I don't know if she'll be part of the evil team somehow. I know that seems like a really big stretch, but something in looking at her face and just hearing that line, for personal reasons, she's a mysterious one. She's suspicious. I don't know. I'm not going to call her out just yet. I'm not going to say, yep, she's evil. She's probably fine. But I'm just saying, there's a little red flag up there, so I've got my eye on you, Lily. And then we also have revealed who we are to believe is your rival character for this game, at least your main rival. His name is How, if I'm pronouncing that right. He seems to be the overly friendly type of rival, so perhaps more in the vein of Bianca and Shauna. It'll be interesting to see what his overall style is like as far as what kind of Pokemon he gets on his journey. But anyway, we have here his bio as well. How is a Pokemon-loving young boy with a big appetite. Oh, so he loves to eat too. I like this guy. He's the same age as your character. When you move to the Alola region, he makes friends with you right away. He has a real weakness for malasada. Is that how you say it? Please correct me if I'm wrong, but do it politely because I'm trying. A famous treat in the Alola region. I have to look that up. It must be based off of something in Hawaii. Anyway, and he is always in search of malasada shops. Will there be malasada shops in Pokemon Sun and Moon? It implies yes, but that'll be interesting. Will this be an item? Will it be like the Castelia cone, where it's basically a cheaper version of the full heal? I don't know. Am I pronouncing malasada right? The world may never know. I'm gonna look it up later and find out if I was wrong. Anyway, last sentence. He is a big-hearted boy who really loves Pokemon. So yeah, just friendly, outgoing. And he loves food to boot, so he's kind of an awesome person, I think. Also in the trailer, his little clip there, his little bit of dialogue has him saying, "Hooey, that gave me chicken skin," which I'm assuming is something he's gonna say after he battles you. And I guess he means goosebumps, which I guess I've heard chicken skin as another word for goosebumps before, but it's certainly a lesser heard term, at least from my experience. But maybe in Hawaii it's used a lot. I don't know, or maybe the word goosebumps, they couldn't use it because of copyright with the books, I don't know. But he says, "That gave me chicken skin," so that's just another thing I thought was worth pointing out, because it's a term I don't think I've ever heard a Pokemon character use before. And finally, we have what to me was the most surprising, but also, in a way, the most awesome thing revealed in the trailer, which is, I'll quote the trailer here, "There's a Rotom in your Pokédex." Basically, Rotom is your Pokédex. You have a specially designed Pokédex, and a Rotom goes inside of it. And he talks to you. What? I mean, that's awesome, but I did not see that coming at all. So now, question being, is this Rotom Pokédex count as another one of Rotom's forms? Like, inside the Pokédex, will there be data for the Pokédex Rotom? Also, if you are receiving a Pokédex with a Rotom in it, does that mean Rotom will be registered in your Pokédex that you caught it? I'm thinking probably not, but I mean, hey, he's there. He's yours, you're not battling with him, but you have him. I don't know. But another thing I want to point out here that was mentioned, just a little blurb in one of the video clips they show of you getting the Pokédex. It says, "A whole new way for people and Pokemon to communicate." Now, on the surface, okay, the obvious is it's shown the Rotom Pokédex kind of talks to you. So that's one thing. But I'm wondering, is there going to be a Pokemon speech translation function in this game? I mean, that's something that's like been in fan games before, where you have like a little Pokemon translator. Are we going to have it? Is it going to be like Team Rocket's Meowth in the Pokemon anime, where he sometimes translates things Pokemon say to you? Is it gonna have a critical gameplay function at all? Or is it gonna be just, you know, if you talk to Pokemon in the overworld, you can understand what they're saying? This could be pretty cool. Like, depending on how they incorporate this, if I'm interpreting this sentence correctly, a way for people in Pokemon to communicate, and it's not just you talking to Rotom, you could talk to Pokemon in the overworld, they could maybe have important dialogue, you could do side quests for them, maybe? This is just really cool. I mean, this is really the weirdest, again, the biggest shock to me out of this entire trailer, but also the thing I'm easily most excited about, which is kind of silly, but it's true. That's it for the stuff that was revealed explicitly in the trailer, but we also did get some other information. One interesting thing also being related to the Pokédex is that you can use the QR scanner in your 3DS to register Pokemon in your Pokédex. Not fully register like you've caught them, but get the information so that you can look up where they are and go and find them. Apparently, from what I'm reading, the way this works is that if you've caught a Pokemon that's been registered in your Pokédex, you can generate a QR code for it and give it to someone else. They can scan it and then have that Pokemon's information. I guess it works like you've seen that Pokemon, which is pretty cool. Usually, you know, there's some kind of milestone of at least seeing every Pokemon in the regional dex, so maybe this could be a way to help contribute to that. And of course, it'll make it a lot easier for you to find certain Pokemon, because you'll see them and be able to look up where they're available. So that's kind of a new and awesome incorporation of the whole QR code thing into the Pokemon games in a way that's never been done before. But that's pretty exciting. I mean, I guess it's, again, another thing trying to encourage players to interact with each other and sort of work together to catch all the Pokemon. So that's neat. Now, one other little tidbit of information that I found on Cerebi, which I don't have really much context for, I have not checked it out myself, but it's apparently in a video on the Japanese site. I can't read Japanese, so it's not like I could go and confirm this for myself, but according to Cerebi, it says, in a special video on the Japanese site, the Pokédex lists the Alola Pokédex and the Mele Mele Pokédex. Now, what is Mele Mele? Is there another region you can go to? But usually, even if you go to another region, like in Johto, you get the national Pokédex. So I'm not sure what the implications of this are. Are there other islands you can go off to? So I really don't know what this is all about. Just based on this single sentence blurb of information, I don't know if there has been any other information, like any elaboration on this, what the Melee Pokédex is. I have not heard of Melee. Is it another region in the game that you go to? But that's interesting. It's interesting that it doesn't say the Alola Pokédex and the National Pokédex. I mean, in X and Y, you have the Central, Coastal, and Mountain Kalos Pokédexes, but those are all the same region, they're Kalos. So what is this? We have Alola and Melee. I could go on repeating myself because I really don't know what else to say about it, but there's that little sentence of information that I have no idea what to make of. But perhaps there are multiple regions in this game, which would be pretty exciting. So we'll just have to see. And that's about gonna wrap it up for this sweet vlog on the June 2nd reveal trailer and sort of the other information that we got with it. It's by no means a comprehensive analysis of everything, and I probably did not cover a few other tidbits of information, but this is just to give my general feel for everything that I saw, kind of at first glance, sort of my first impressions, and a little bit of analysis as well. But if you want to see more analysis, by all means let me know, and I'll pick out a certain bit of the trailer or a certain bit of information, and I'll go off on it a little more if you want. But for now, suffice it to say, I am pretty excited. That Rotom Pokédex thing, that has me hooked because that just shows that there's something completely new and different going on here in this game. Something totally out of the ordinary. I know every Pokédex in every generation has sort of a little gimmick of its own, whether it be the design or one or two different functions, but this seems like the most awesome thing. The potential for maybe a Pokemon speech translator in the game. I'm excited. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this sweet vlog, and I will see you in the next video.